Alright, hey guys, Delve update here. We're gonna try this for the God knows how manyth time today. Um, and we're gonna cover all the stuff that I can figure out. Sorry, that I managed to figure out. We're already doing great. All the things that I managed to figure out today about how Delve works, because it was kind of spontaneously dropped on everyone and nobody was ready, and half the people are asking in chat what the fuck is happening because nobody understands what's going on. Some people haven't even heard of Delve before. So I understand that people here are going to be coming from different levels of knowledge. Some of you may have already done some Delve, already figured some stuff out. We're just going to cover as much as the stuff as I can remember to cover here. If I missed anything, just leave it in the comments. Not that anyone watches me. That was weird. No, it wasn't weird. What are you talking about? So if we go here, you can see that I'm now 32,714 power rank. Now, if you watched my last video, which you didn't, but you should, you'll notice that I was maybe I want to say 1,600 PR less than this. Maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe I'm just crazy. But I gained a lot of power rank when this expansion hit, and the reason for that is that they kind of jumped around on the numbers they were going for. But the big thing here, if you hover over this, so the first 500 mastery ranks that you get, total mastery ranks, sorry, I completely lie here. Trove mastery rank, so this should be separate from the geode ones, are going to give you 4 power rank, and then after that 1 power rank. So if we go to geode here and we hover, the geode ones, the first 100 geode mastery ranks give 5 power rank. So getting your geode mastery, very good. Getting your 500 on Trove mastery is going to be very good as well. Those are big numbers, I know, but they were talking about 200, and if the cutoff was down there, a lot of people wouldn't really feel very incentive to do very much. So I'm kind of happy that they did this. Nice way to get some more power rank. I'm sure a lot of people got a big boost just from this alone on all of their characters, right? So yeah, that's the first thing, right? The next thing here, obviously, is that C4s came out. So C4s dropped from U10 delves. I'm not sure what the cutoff is for where U10 starts, but generally speaking, when you join a delve, and it's with a bunch of people who are around my power rank or higher, it's gonna be U10. If it's a public, and you're gonna be able to have that chance of getting C4s. There are 3 types of delves. There's private delves, challenge delves, and public delves. So we're just kind of in the hub here. So you come into the hub, there's the atlas at the front, right? If you take a right, we can see over here, this is where you do most of your delve stuff initially, all right? So here is your public delve portal. So when you enter the queue for public delve, you'll get queued with 8 total people, so 7 in addition to yourself. And you'll be able to do a delve that is supposed to be matched to your power rank of your party's average power rank or something, right? I'm not sure exactly the way it scales, but generally the idea is that whatever your group's power is, you're supposed to be fighting something similar in power to you. So they're going to be kind of tricky, give or take, depending on what random mods that you get. We'll talk about that in a second too. God, there's so much. I hope I talk about everything. The matchmaking seems very good. So if I enter this public delve, from what I've seen so far, most of the time I'll get matched up with people stronger than I am, like 35Ks, and we don't usually have a huge problem clearing the depth 144s that we end up going straight into. What'll happen is that you go into your delve, and then there'll be a bunch of totems at the start, okay? And it's important to kind of look at some of the totems until you get to know what they are. I still don't know what they all are, so I just have to look at them or rely on other people. Eventually you'll be able to just tell by the auras on the monsters, I think. But basically the idea is that the totems at the start of the delve represent the different monster types that are in the delve. So you'll find a crab totem, and it's okay, all the crabs are going to have this modifier on them, and the modifiers can be good, the modifiers can be bad. Magic resist, more damage taken, that's a great one, or more darkness, which is obviously a terrible one. So generally speaking, you're going to get a bunch of totems that randomize the stats, and then the bosses at the end will have their own totem affecting the bosses. you're going to get one of 3 objectives in your delve. The first objective is you're going to get, sorry, they're not in any particular order. When I say first objective, I just mean like of the 3. I'm just the first one I'm talking about. Not, there's no order to them. You'll just get one of these things. Okay. So one of the ones that you can get, I guess is a better way to put it, is it'll say like defeat number of monoliths. Okay. So let's say defeat 4 monoliths is what I've seen the most. And what happens is that with the delve, you'll get a timer, and within the timer, you want to clear the objective. So with this objective of the monoliths, it's one of the easier ones. You just want to skip every monster, okay? Unless you're just one-shotting them as you go, just skip every monster, except when you find the actual monoliths, you have to clear those monoliths. Now, what are the monoliths? They're like little cursed skulls that are golden. Once you see them and learn what they look like, they're very easy to spot. So if it says defeat 4 monoliths, you literally do that. You can ignore the other mobs. They don't matter. You just go, you do your 4 monoliths, and then as soon as you've completed your objective, you're going to want to rush to the boss, okay? And then once 2 people get to the boss, everyone else will get the opportunity to teleport to that person at the boss. Once everyone's at the boss, you'll have a separate timer for the boss. It'll refill your flasks before you start the boss, and then you can clear them, right? If you clear 3 of the challenge... Sorry, if you clear 3 of the like delves in a row, because you'll get the chance to continue one depth higher after you clear one, you'll get one of the locked chests where you can spend your your new keys, which can be converted at the adventurer's crafting bench from your old Shadow Tower keys that don't matter anymore because you can't use them. So yeah, you have to do 3 delves basically in a chain in order to spawn those chests, okay? The other, what are they called? Objectives that you can get are kill number of enemies. So you just have to kill that number of enemies before you get to the end room. For this one, you want to kill the enemies in big groups as you go, and you want to just like straight up just skip the enemies that have like darkness buffs and stuff on them. You don't want to touch the ones that are really tanky, because it's just going to take you too long. You're probably not going to make it to the end. It's going to be a problem. This might change in the future, but right now that's how it is. The third objective is to full clear rooms, and this is the really shitty one because it's kind of hard to like tell what the scope of a room is, but generally speaking, you just have to do that. You find a room that's got good monsters in it that like don't have shitty mods on them. You full clear every monster from that room, and with all of these challenges, you can see the I don't know why I'm trying to point with my hand. My mouse here. You'll have a little quest thing up here, right? And it'll like tick down as you complete the objective, so you can keep track of whether or not you've actually cleared the full cleared the room or whatever. And then again, once you've done the objective, you just dip to the boss, kill the boss, good, right? Sometimes the bosses can be the Shadow Tower bosses, right? So you can find like what have I found? I found a Dreadnought today. I found a Spike Walker. And basically with those guys, I'm pretty sure that when you encounter them, those guys are the ones who are just going to drop you a bunch of the Titan Souls and things, respectively, like they would have in Shadow Tower, but in here. Now, I've heard a bunch of different stories about how this works, so if anyone wants to specify in the comments because they know how this works, feel free to do so. But the way that I'm understanding it to work right now is you still have a weekly cap that you can get of these things, like Despoiled Divinities and Lunar Souls and whatnot, and they drop from the same respective dudes in some amount of quantity, and you can only get a certain number per week, but the number that you can get is supposedly higher than it used to be, and you don't have to do it all on one day kind of thing. You can just kind of do it whatever. There might be like a boost on the first day, so you might get some more on the first day, but you're still going to want to be able to grind some out the other days. You could probably do that, right? It seems kind of tricky to like get to the bosses unless you're really speed farming them, so yeah, like I haven't even seen a Dottom yet. Not that I've done a ton of delves, but I've done maybe like... Actually, is there a badge? Can I check how many I've done? Delve. Oh, beautiful. This is just for public. I've done 9 public delves. I've done 10 challenges. So I've done 19 delves today. I've seen two Shadow Tower bosses. Take that for what you want to take that for. That's that. But I did notice that I got Titan Souls when I did a Spike Walker. I don't know if you can get them from the other guys or not, but I got a bunch of them. Those with Patron Active, and I think I went from like 92 to like 110 something, 112. I don't know how many it was, but it was a big jump, big jump. Lots of Titan Souls from that boss. And I had sworn I had used most of mine on Monday, and I noticed that I had like 90. So I don't know how many of those were left over from the other day, but whatever amount I got, it was a good amount. It was a good amount of them that I got. So don't be too worried about those. You'll get them just while you're doing your things. Hopefully finding Daughter of the Moon and getting your Lunar Souls and stuff isn't super hard, because those matter. But if you can get more despoileds and things per week, it should be good overall. Okay, that was public delves. So private delves work the same way. They get stored in the portals for them get stored in your crafting inventory. Fuck knows why. I guess because it's a block that you place to like put up the portal. They're consumables. You get some from the badges. You can craft them. I'll show you the bench in a sec. And the private delves, right? Private delves. The private delves were the same as public delves, except that you're not auto matchmaking, so you have to basically build your own party, right? And I'm not really sure how the scaling on that one works yet, but generally speaking, you're just going to get a bunch of swole people, and you're going to go run your private delve, probably out of your club world or something. Not an issue. Now, if we go look over here on this bench, I know there's so much stuff. I might have to grab a glass of water halfway through. Yeah, we'll see. All right. So, challenge delve. So you can see here there's the two challenge delve ones, and the regular one, it starts at depth 110, and I'm not sure if it actually progresses. I think it's just the same all the time. So you'll just be doing consistent 110s, which is not Uber 10. So you can't get C4s from that one. As far as I'm aware, that's how that works. And they have like a weekly, what's it called, layout, I guess, and it'll be the same every time. That's how I understand challenge delves to be. So I'm not really sure what the point of them is over just running pubs. Pubs seem to be like really good, especially like these are pretty cheap, so you can craft these. But you gotta have a group, and if you don't have a group, I join a guild, get a group, but like if you don't, then the public ones are fine. They've been okay so far, at least for me, in my experience. So then you have this one, which is the challenge mode, not easy, and this one starts at 110, but I assume it progresses. So I think the idea is if you're going to be in this one for a while, it should be like pretty good. Again, I'm not sure why you wouldn't want to just go into one at the depth that you want to be at, so I'm not really sure what the purpose of these ones is. Yeah, it costs 100 shadow shards. You'll notice that the crystals in the delves all are now shadow shards and crystals, so you get both, so you'll end up with a bunch of them. So then you have these two food items, and I don't know, God knows why they gave this the same art as like the other like 3 things that look like it. But basically these foods will give you like stats, and the milk is the better one between the two, of course, because milk is the best. But this one is the better one, has 200 light on it, so you wanna have that equipped, I guess. They decay like any other foods, however it works. But they're also crafting mats, and that's the really weird part. You'll get them to drop in like stacks, and I think you get a bunch of them from the Delver box that you get from the key boxes. So yeah, I'll show you what you can make with those in a sec. Then you got the like bombs, and the bombs are obviously for mining the like delve resource or the geode resources that spawn in the delve caves. Things like the queen's trumpets and stuff. But mostly like the ores, right? You want to bomb the ores because you're not gonna sit there and be like pew pewing with your like mining laser while everyone's off clearing the delve, right? You're gonna toss some bombs, move on, right? And everyone's gonna get the shit. I don't know why. There's like a shitty donate thing here. I guess if you like really have nothing else to spend your geode on, 'cause it's not tradable, right? Okay, so geode. Oh fuck. So geode is untradeable. You have a limit, as you can see. My limit is currently 800 on the geodes. The maximum you can hold by default is 600, okay? Every time you get a geode wallet and you use it, your maximum will increase by 200. So what does this mean? It means you can store more of it. So you either have to keep spending it on small stuff, right? Or you're going to cap out. And the main reason with this is, I think, to keep people from like just turbo delving and like filling it up and then without having to leave the delve, right? They want you to like pay the entrance fee if you're going to do a bunch of private farming. But the big items in the other shop, there's a couple items that you really want to get, and I'll show you those in a sec too. And those ones require you to have a higher max wallet size because you need to like have like 900 to like buy the things, right? And you just can't do that with the wallet being too small. So, what's up with the banners? We'll talk about that after. There's 3 tiers of allies, okay, for the light allies. So this is your cheap tier. You just buy them with the cave kelps, and they're pretty shit. 5 power rank, wow, 100 light. You know, respectable if you don't have any light, need some light. Cheap. Well, maybe not so cheap on the geode, but you know, if you need one, you need one, whatever. You'd see it that those ones take the cave kelp, and then we go into the mammals, and they need the cave milk, so the better food. And I just crafted one of these. I think it was this one. Is like these are the medium tier ones. Still better than like a Chronomancer Cubesley, right? Because it's got 200 light on it. And then you got the really good ones, which take these free range electrolytic crystals. And basically every time, I don't want to properly explain this. Okay. These come from banner pulls. Let's just say that for now. And these are the really good allies. These are the ones you want to farm up. Okay, you want to get these. These don't matter. These decorations. They give 2 mastery. Wow, amazing, right? Okay, so the way banners work, you can see we got a shit ton of poles here. All right, we got a ton of poles. And these ones are your really shitty ass light banners, right? If you don't have a good light banner, I guess make one, right? But like you don't need these. They're not good. This isn't what you want. The important part to note here is that they take 2 items. They take a banner pole and a banner standard. Okay, the standards, I'm just going to call it the flag for now, okay? Just easier, I'm going to call it the flag. The pole and the flag. So the poles are rarer, but there's only 2 different poles. There's the physical pole, which is the martial way, and then there's the arcane way, which is the magic damage pole, alright? So those are going to dictate if the torch or banner that you make is going to have fizz damage on it or magic damage. Very simple, right? You're going to get these less often, but you don't need specific ones that, because there's only 2. So you can tear apart the extra ones in the loot collector. And the reason this is important is because these are what loot collect for these crystal things, which I would not spend crafting these, by the way, because you'll get a bunch of these. But that's not the point. You get 5 of these for taking a pole apart, all right? And these are important for crafting these guys. You need 100 of them for those. Okay, so these come from loot collecting the poles. The flags drop way easier, but there's like a bajillion different ones, right? For all the different variants of the banners that you can get. And I'll show you what the mod pools on them are like in a bit. And those are the ones that are going to loot collect for the other material. Little quest guy here, by the way, and the benches beside him, in case you were curious. So over here, so the flags loot collect for the pressurized cave kelps. Oh, interesting. It's literally the, is it literally the food? No. It is. Okay. So, one of the materials for crafting is the food. Yeah, isn't that great? Amazing. Alright, so we go over here. Here's another really cheap light banner. If you don't have one, just has 100 light. Wow, amazing. You can see there's a geode wallet here for this thing, which I believe you get from getting the obsidian badge, so you want to farm that up at some point. That's what's going to let you get to 1,000. I don't know if you can get more than that. I don't know if you really need more than that. I haven't seen anything cost more, right? You can see I've already got like 350, and I've already bought a couple things because I bought a wallet, and I bought one of these guys, and some other things. So it's not super hard to farm that stuff up. Now, the mounts here, wings aside, with the wings are really important because you can use them in the private and challenge delves, because outside of public delves, you can only use the delve only mounts and wings that you see here. So the reason that these mounts and these wings are important is because otherwise you can't use a mount if you're doing private delves and stuff, right? This doesn't matter if you're doing publics, right? And God, these things are ugly, but yeah, so these are 65 move speed, but it's better than no mount, okay? Like, fuck mounts. Yeah, movement speed is a bit of a problem in delves, actually. You wanna, if you got a good Neon Ninja with good movement speed, you're like set, dude. You're gonna be zooming. Um, but yeah, so obviously these wings and getting this mount is very important because this is your glide 90 move speed mount that you can use in delves. Basically the best mount in the game right now. Actually insane, alright? This is important conversion because this is harder to get than these, and you need these to make your allies, right? Cool, okay. I think that's it for this shop here. I don't think there's anything important over here. You can get your Vacuumatic now for more mastery, and you can use that to suck some stuff up in your Geode and in the Delves. Cool, whatever. Let's go over here. Take a look at the banners, which 90% of people probably don't even know exist yet, and I didn't either until recently. So if you look at banners, right, in this crafting bench where you can craft your C1 gear if you really want to, here's the important part, right? So weekly torches. Weekly torches actually give, I think for U10, like 900 light. Let's just talk about U10 here. All right, U8 doesn't even matter because you can't even upgrade them, okay? But your U9 and your U10 perma torches from Leviathans can be upgraded now. So a U10 weekly torch gave you 900 light. A U10 upgraded torch, permanent, gives you 900 light. This is important because they gave only 825 light. They were better because they're permanent, but they're worse because they actually gave you less light than the weekly ones. So you still wanted to make weekly ones, which sucks, right? So you can now upgrade your torches, and they will have the same amount of light as your weeklies. You don't need to make weeklies anymore. Fantastic, right? Here's the catch. You need a banner and you need a banner flag and a banner pole in order to make them, and a bunch of geode. So this is the system I was kind of talking about earlier with the stats. So basically this is this, right? This is your permatorch. This is this. And then it's going to take your fizz or your magic damage banner to determine the first of the 3 stats other than light on your torch. So it's going to be fizz damage or magic damage. Great, you got all your fizz ones at the top, all your magic damage ones down here. You'll notice that all of them have 3 stats on them. So the second stat can be jump, flask capacity, or health regen. Okay? So 90% of people are going to want jump on their torch because that's, I don't know how many jumps it is, but having jumps on your torch probably means you don't want jumps elsewhere, so you can put something else elsewhere, and that's great because health regen, flat, and flask capacity is pretty mediocre. Maybe there's some dudes who want some flask capacity. I jump life, dude. Then you got your third stat, right? Your third stat is attack speed or energy regen or remember what it is right now. Movement speed. Attack speed, movement speed, energy regen. Now this is the tricky decision. So you gotta figure out what you want, right? So if we look here at the Invoker one, the Invoker one is magic damage, jump, move speed. That one looks pretty good, right? I could actually make this if I wanted to, and I'm very tempted to because the move speed, but you got the magic damage, jump, attack speed is going to be, and obviously there's fizz variants as well. But I think these are going to be some of the better banners that people are going to be crafting. Banner torches, torch banners. And this one takes the fire cage standard. So you'll notice that the torch that you want is going to correlate to the flag that you need to craft it. And this just goes for whichever version you're making, the U9, the U10, the shitty ones in the other crafting bench. It's just how that works. Okay? I think, okay, so what did we talk about? We talked about mastery, we talked about torches, we talked about the crafting, we talked about the delves themselves. I think I touched upon Lunar Souls and whatnot. I'm going to say it again just in case I didn't, but I've done like 20 delves so far. I've seen 2 of the bosses from the Shadow Tower in the delves, and I have confirmed that I got Titan Souls from a Spike Walker, and it was a bunch of them. I did do my thing yesterday before this was released, so I guess it got reset. I'm not sure what the cap is, but I believe there is a weekly cap on how many you can get. It's just spread throughout, right? There, I'm not sure how many you get, but it was a bunch. I have Patron. I got like I want to say like 20 from the Spike Walker. I may have gotten some from the other things as well. I'm not really sure. I wasn't looking, and I probably should have been, but whatever. Too late now, right? And then Lunar Souls, I haven't gotten any yet. I don't think, but I haven't seen a Dotum, so I'm just gonna assume, based on what I've heard and what makes sense, that the Lunar Souls and the Despoiled Divinities that I've heard you can get more of weekly than before, will drop from Dotum when you find her in the dells, because they no longer drop from the previous Shadow Tower things, right? So you should be able to get those. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I believe you'll still need to get the keys for them to do that. The keys will not be needed for anything outside of Delve on the... Sorry, don't... let me remember the end of my point and finish my point before you tell me I'm wrong, because I was leading somewhere with that, and I've forgotten. Right. Except Shadow Towers, unless you don't need the loot from them, if that makes any sense. So the Shadow Towers are boss only now. So when you kill the boss, you get the chest, and to open the chest you use a key, but the chest loot is shit because the chest loot doesn't have the Lunar Souls and the Despoiled Divinities and the Titan Souls anymore, so it basically doesn't matter, so you basically don't need the keys for anything except Delve. Correct me if I'm wrong. Great, fantastic. I think that's all the things that are Delve. I really don't want to miss anything. I'm not going to cut this video and then realize I've forgotten something. So I just want to make sure here. I believe these banners are stellar rarity. Not that that really matters. I don't believe they affect PR still. Most of the Delve items will give both Geode and Trove Mastery, so they're pretty decent. Let's check the badges. Let's see what the badges give. This is show all, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, hang on. Yes, so you get Delve Gateways for doing that one. The cache. Oh, the pressurized caches. That's where you're going to get most of your poles and things and your food. You're going to get a bunch of them from the caches, and the caches drop in quantities of like 15 or something from the... Sorry, I have Patron. I don't know if that affects that or not. From the Shadow Key box. Shadow Keys. Milk. Shadow Keys. Coin. So you gotta do 500 challenge delves to get the coin to get the other Geode wallet. Yikes. Alright, well, guess go farm some challenge delves. That's the big one. You want to get that mount? That's how you get it. I don't think there's any other way to get a Geode wallet, with the exception, I think they put a thing in the shop. Yes, you can buy... I don't recommend it, but also if you want the mount, it's like not the end of the world, right? If you have a bunch of flux that's like, I don't know, like 1.2 mil flux, like whatever, just to like buy it here. But to like buy credit pouches off the market to like just get this. But yeah, there because you can get the one really easily, right? Because you just spend some inert geode on it and you get it, and I would get that ASAP. That's good. But yeah, oh goodness, I'm tired. The geode wallet in the shop is an option if you really want it for whatever reason. I've seen C2s drop so far. I haven't seen a C3, haven't seen a C4 from the delves yet, and I've been mostly doing U10 ones, so they're pretty rare. I think I saw like one dude in chat get one in the guild that I joined for like delve farming. Yep, I'm gonna end it here because I really can't think of anything else. But as soon as I turn this off, I'm gonna have forgotten something. So I'm gonna trust that anything else that you need to figure out, you'll either be able to figure out by looking at the comments or by looking on the wiki, because there's probably information somewhere. It's just kind of hard to find that information right now, but I'm sure that by the time anyone actually watches this video, it'll be easier to see. I'm rambling, so I'm just going to turn off this video. Thanks, bye!